video. So this morning there's no talk, there's no sermon from me. I know it's disappointing, isn't it? You'll be all right. It's going to be okay. We've got a couple of people. I don't know what Andy said, and best not to know. There's a couple of people who we've just asked, would they share something of their story? And these stories are stories of lives transformed by God. And one is in the longer term. So it's not necessarily a story which is just about last year. It's about a life lived. And then we've got a more recent story of what's happened in someone's life more recently. And so I really want you guys, they're a little bit nervous, both of these guys who are going to share. So I really want you to give them a big encouragement and welcome them. And so in a short time, Marc is going to be sharing. But first of all, Kevin Rogers is going to share. Kevin is a fantastic member of our church. He's such an unassuming, humble man, and yet he has such a wonderful story of God's grace in his life. And also, he is the one who enables us to have Christmas carols with a brass band, because he's in one, and we are very, very glad about that as well. And so Kevin's going to come and share something of his story, and so I wonder whether we could give him a very warm welcome. So Kev, would you come? Matt, I'm hoping this will work right, but you just instruct me if I haven't got it in the right place. Higher? Higher. Price is right. Price is right, yeah. There? Okay, all yours.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Before I start, I'd just like to read something that's pretty special to me, really. I'll start with, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see our experience can benefit others. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realise that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialise if we work for them. So I was raised in Wingfield Close, Ditherington, which is just down the road. I have a brother who is 8 years older than myself. And my parents always worked, and they weren't the type of people to go out drinking or socialising. I had a good upbringing, and I always felt loved. I was always quite shy, but had a good network of friends, and I started work at 16 as a painter and decorator. I attended Shrewsbury Technical College while serving my apprenticeship. It was at college I made some new friends, and one night they asked me to go out for a drink with them. I wasn't keen on this, but was persuaded to go. This was my first real introduction to alcohol, and discovered what it could do. It did for me what spinach did for Popeye, really. I wasn't shy anymore. I could tell jokes, make people laugh, I fitted in. From then on, this was a pattern of my life. I was never more happy than when I was in the pub drinking. I was married by the age of 22. Eventually we had 3 lovely children, but things were about to change. I had a short spell of depression, but during this time I secured a job at Shrewsbury Prison. I thought this was the answer to my problems, and indeed it was for a short time, but my drinking was getting worse. I never lost time from work, but eventually depression reared its head again, really bad this time. I was being treated by the doctors who prescribed medication for me, but it wasn't working. I felt a burden to everyone and totally useless. It was then I took an overdose, hoping to end it all. I was admitted to a psychiatric hospital. During that period, I had 18 treatments of electric current treatment. And my wife tried telling the doctors about my drinking, but I managed to convince them she was over-exaggerating the problem. We alcoholics are very convincing liars. I eventually got back to work, but I wasn't right. Thankfully, my boss at the time recognised the problem, and without going into all the details, got me to go to AA. He saved my life. I've now been sober for 26 years. Lots of things have happened in sobriety, but nothing that made me pick a drink up. They told me in AA I needed a power greater than alcohol. I didn't believe in God, but decided to try. So for a while, I pretended to believe. In other words, I was faking it to make it. God met me right where I was. People say I've done well to stay sober, but believe me, the only thing I've done is put my bum on a chair in an AA room and listen. God has done the rest. I eventually found Barnabas Church, which I attended for a while. It was there that I gave my life to God. This was on the 25th of June 2000, and I was baptised on the 10th of December 2000. I would like to mention the Alpha course. And the course I attended was based at Barnabas. The away day at the time was at Church Stretton. At the end of the course, we were all prayed for. While being prayed for, I started to dry retch. I'd been sober for a little while by then, but I couldn't stop the feeling of being sick. Everyone else had gone, but I was still in this state. I was prayed for again, and immediately the sick feeling left. On the drive home, I had a voice in my head, and it said, "Kevin, you don't have to drink anymore." And this has proved to be the case. Being part of Grace Church is special for me. I look forward to attending on Sundays. It's a time where I can relax, not today, and feel part of the community. And also the fellowship is a big part of it for me. I'm not good at doing life on my own. And just to finish, the promises I read out at the beginning have been and are being fulfilled right up to today.
Kev was worried about getting a bit emotional. I didn't count for me being in quite as much of a state, but Kev, thank you so much. And we're talking about a story of 2 decades of God's grace in his life. And that is an inspiration. There's others in this room who are coming into that journey and seeing their own personal journey. And we're going to hear from one of them right now because Marc will tell his own story. But Marc Ellis joined us along with many others that we're very, very grateful for from Hope Church. And these guys have been with us now for, over a year. And so Marc is very much part of our church and a great blessing to us. And he's going to come in a slightly nervous way. I don't think he feels too bad, but we'll see how he is by the time he gets to the front. And he's going to share his story. So let's welcome Marc. All right. Up. Everyone's a lot taller.
Well, I thought I was going to be more nervous in this, but I'm not, because I'm just speaking in front of my brothers and sisters and my Father, the Lord Jesus. So it's a lot easier than I thought, especially with his help. So I came to Grace Church from Hope Church in April 2022. I became a Christian at Hope and was baptised there in 2018. I had a big problem with alcohol, and through drinking I hit rock bottom and I had to use food bank. And at food bank I met Alex, an elder of the church, who talked to me about God, which led me to do the Alpha course with the leader of the church, Nick. Just on ending the Alpha course, I just knew that he was there for me, so I gave my life to Jesus then. I've had a few people helping me. That's where, technology. A few people helping me, and that's where I met the lovely Sean and Neens, who've helped me over there, so thank you guys for that. And I do come and see you. It's not just Coco, but I come and see you too. So since the age of 14, 15, I was drinking, fighting, I got into it with mates, started to enjoy the taste of alcohol. So I was going uptown, getting someone to buy me beers, cider, vodka, anything with alcohol in it, which led to me becoming addicted to alcohol, which then led to me becoming an alcoholic. It went from weekends to every day that I'd need a drink. And the amount that I drank ended up being between 9 and 12 litres of cider a day, along with strong lager, vodka and other spirits. I had been rushed into hospital, and I underwent a hospital detox there, but there was no support when I came out, so I went straight back on it. I do have cirrhosis of the liver and other problems due to the alcohol. That's getting sorted somewhere. I was a bit anxious joining Grace, as I didn't know how people would take me with my circumstances of being an alcoholic. But I've realised over the time that I've been here what such a loving family you are, which has been absolutely fantastic. So I joined Shropshire Recovery, and I did a pre-detox group where, I'll try and keep it together here, where the nurse told me that if I kept going the way I was, then I have less than 3 months to live. So in June, I went into detox, completed it. There have been ups, there have been downs, like, now. But I'm 6 months sober. And this Christmas and New Year will be the first ever Christmas and New Year that I've actually been sober. So that's why I'm a bit bigger, because I can taste my food. I'd just like to thank Tim, Terry, Janice and Bill, Shaz, Kelvin, Sean, Naomi, and all others who have helped me on my journey, and everyone for being such a lovely family in Christ. But there is one person that I really need to thank, and that's God, because he's always been there by my side when I've been struggling. He's been my chain breaker. So thank you.
Amen.
There's one lady here that I need to say some words to, so Hayley. She's been a rock to me since everything stayed with me. I think I managed that pretty well. So I'd just like to
I think she did. She did.
Give her a hug. Yay.